I'm Chris.
And I'm Mel.
And together we host the podcast
Spoil My Movie. We were watching movies anyway.
And we were having in-depth conversations about those movies too.
So we decided to share our thoughts with the world.
You can expect me to gripe about inaccurate details like supposedly cold weather, but you can't see anyone's breath.
And you can expect me to be totally adorable, but also psychologically deep.
And by the end of each episode, we'll provide our respective ratings.
Using a rating scale custom tailored to the movie in question.
Check us out wherever you get your podcasts.
We're everywhere. We're actually behind you right now.
Coming at you.
119.
Episode 119 of Seddy Bimco. 119 coming at you in your ear holes. America's foremost podcast dedicated to the art of spinning revenge-themed sequels to movies that never had them.
Yes.
We've been lately on a tour of the 50 nifty United States.
Yeah.
Tim, it was your chance to choose this week. What is this week's state and movie?
Oregon. Is it Oregon? Oregon.
Or, that's a question. We will have to deal with this question.
When we watched Pigs vs. Freaks. It says made in 1982, came out in 1984. I'm confused, but we'll talk about it.
I have a lot of information about that.
I do too. I looked it up. Oh, but we have an age-old question.
Let's hear your age-old question. Written by... I've learned something about these. Yeah, Ralph. When it's a text from McGillicuddy, you know it's going to suck extra hard.
It's not a Robin Hood slant.
Oh.
Not slant.
What was up with that?
Rampage. Yeah. Did the poor.
Well, Did they ever get revenge on Robin Hood?
For when he just started stealing rich ladies' underwear and giving them to that weird guy who lives above the deli. Go to song.
All right.
It's Seddy Bimco Part 2, The Revenge. The show where we create revenge sequels that nobody wanted.
Good song. All right.
Seddy Bimco.
Back from the song.
What we're talking about is our wildcard question, the most popular part of our show, where I pick a number out of a jar.
What the age-old question was.
That's the second most popular. Pick a number. We're going to ask who from this movie that we're going to talk about would do something. The number is 21. Who is most likely to go on a 40-mile hike in Greenland? Okay.
That sucks.
That's a good one. I'll mark it.
No, it's not. It's not good. I want to actually address something because I want to talk a little bit about the age-old questions.
You want to address something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What, you? Recently, listeners, you may not know this, but in addition to our weekly or near weekly recordings, Tim and I will often hang out together outside of Seddy Bimco recording sessions.
While.
Yeah. And Tim recently on one such hangout let slip how he writes these age-old questions. You go to a bar and you sit there with your notebook and you drink by yourself and you hope that supermodels will come by, but they often don't.
I saw it.
And you write this madness.
Yeah.
So I just picture you sitting there looking at the deli across the street from your local watering hole. And maybe you saw like an upright walking fox.
Yeah.
Maybe you saw something happen. You had a real Robin Hood kick going on.
Because a fox played Robin Hood in the Disney movie.
Yeah, or another way of saying that might be they animated a Robin Hood as a fox, because I don't think he was an actual cartoon fox that had an independent existence. I could be wrong. We may live in a Roger Rabbit reality.
Weren't they all animals in that movie?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying there were some people and foxes.
Nope. Little John was a bear, and the sheriff of Nottingham was a wolf.
Little John was a bear. That's like ironic.
Why? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Little,
there.
Big bear.
And he's a bear. Yeah. And also he was a hairy gay guy who's large.
They could be that too.
Yep. Yeah. And he was friends with an otter. Yep. We're a good podcast.
We are. I'm chill. I'm chill for tonight's groovy movie, everybody. It's got hippies and everything. I don't know if George has more to say. I don't have much to say. Did I have something to say?
About what?
Just anything.
I have stuff to say.
Before we go to Oregon facts.
Know who's fucking chill?
Not
this
me.
guy. Because know what I just did? Like 15 minutes before we recorded?
You meditated.
I got back. No, almost. I got back from yoga class.
Oh, what? Well, look how close I was.
I know, pretty weird. Well, it's because I'm radiating inner calm and peace. And I also have a well-toned physique, and I'm levitating 6 inches off the floor. That part you might not be able to tell.
I can't see. I don't want to see.
Yeah. Also, I'm naked.
You seem relaxed.
But that's,
like you're
first
not
time in
pants.
like half a year. I went back, kicked my ass. I'm woefully out of shape.
How many times did you fart?
7, of course. That's what you're supposed to do in yoga.
I know.
I will say this.
About.
I'm actually going to say this. There is an obsession with people because it's supposed to be if you have to fart, you're just supposed to let it go.
Yeah.
I've been going to yoga on and off for many years. I don't think I've ever heard anybody fart in class.
They do it quietly.
Maybe it's like a slow squeaker, like a pooey. This is good. This is a good podcast.
Well, there's somebody that goes just for that. You know that.
Oh, there probably is. Should we name their name? Should we say who they are?
Chris, who never listens to this podcast.
Chris, who never. Yeah,
he doesn't do that.
How about occasional co-host Kevin Cablasto?
Maybe.
That's why he gets that name, because he lets rip with a real Cablasto.
No, I meant there's people that go because they want to smell ladies' farts. I said, there's somebody.
Oh.
Somebody does that, and that's Cablasto also. Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely Cablasto. Yeah. That guy's a real fart sniffer.
I don't think they allow yoga in Rochester. It's
well,
outlawed.
I think we've also established that he's not allowed out of the country. He's not allowed outside of Rochester. Have we ever mentioned that Kevin Cablasto is actually incarcerated in Rochester?
House arrest?
Yeah. No, he's just in jail. There's a big jail up there. That's where he lives.
But he's in his house, so I thought maybe he had a ankle bracelet.
Oh. He has no legs, though.
Because when he's on the show, he's always futzing with his ankle with a screwdriver and everything. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing.
Oh, I thought he was a cyborg.
No, maybe. It could be too.
All right.
I'm glad you want to talk about this. I haven't done yoga in my life. I got to do that.
Really?
Nope. I do bike rides.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Dangerous.
Tim does a multi-kilometer. Notice I'm still in a European state of mind. He does multi-kilometer bike rides all around New York.
Kilometers.
Yeah, that's the way it's
kilometers. How many kilometers to the chopper? That's it. Come on,
you were doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, I was.
That's that was uncanny.
So, should we do Oregon facts?
Are we gonna? Well, let's remind everybody. Let's remind everybody the movie.
What?
So in our tour, in the tour of our 50 Nifty, we were on Oregon, but we will address. We'll address this because we're going to get angry mail. I know people from Oregon, however you say it, Oregon. Actually, I have a list about it, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
They have a lot of different ways of pronouncing it.
Should I have done a list?
The movie, I'm sure you did too, because you always do too. The movie it's known by 3 different titles.
Yep.
Pigs versus Freaks, The Pigs versus The Freaks, and Offsides. And you said it was filmed in 82. I actually have different information about that. From no less a source than Turner Classic Movies has a page devoted to this. Yeah. It was originally scheduled for broadcast in November of 1980. And it did not actually, it was not actually broadcast because this was a made-for-TV movie. Because it's preempted for Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, I thought you were going to say John Lennon was shot and everything was preempted.
No, but Tim, that's so fucking funny that you say that, because
that's not funny, George.
No, I literally wrote a bunch of notes here. I wrote, it wasn't aired until 1984. Underneath it, I write Lennon, ESB, which is short for Empire Strikes Back, /ROTJ. Because I know if you were a new listener, there are certain things. So yes, this movie was
our show.
Yep. This movie was filmed in a world where John Lennon was still alive. Mm-hmm. And if things had gone well, if Smokey and the Bandit hadn't preempted it, this may be in a movie that John Lennon himself would have seen. Maybe
would have stayed home to watch, you mean?
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't even have gone out that day and been shot by Mark David Chapman. This movie could have saved John Lennon's life. And the makers of this movie was filmed before Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
this movie was filmed before Return of the Jedi. It was filmed when there was only one Star Wars movie. It came out when there was 4 if you count the holiday special.
Ooh. These are amazing facts.
Yep. That's my main stuff about the movie.
And it was based on a short film from 1970. I did read that. They
which I was not able to find.
Nope. Oh, did you see
the writer
who co-wrote this? Did you look at his resume, George? One of the co-writers.
He wrote Predator, right? No, Top Gun. Yeah, the new Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick.
No, he wrote the old one too, I think, when I looked it up.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Helped write Turner and Hooch.
Really?
Was that the guy with the dog partner? I never saw that.
Yeah, that's the one where one of them is Tom Hanks and one of them is a dog. And I know, spoilers, I know the dog dies.
Oh, for real?
Because, in real life, that dog is probably dead by now. But I know it because Tom Hanks has talked about, like, you never do a movie where the dog dies, which seems...
Yeah.
You watch a movie like, say, Independence Day, where you see the entirety of New York and LA get fried by aliens. But there's that scene where Vivica A. Fox is hanging out in the tunnel and her dog's running towards her in slow motion. And you know what would have ruined the whole movie and Tom Hanks, he's already dead because he was killed in LA. If that dog got killed by the alien fire, we would have been like, this movie sucks. Millions of people, it's fine. But one dog, forget it.
And Turner and Hooch, that dies. Okay.
Yeah, and Turner and Hooch when the aliens come and kill everybody. Yeah.
What? And Tom Hanks was in another sad movie, sadly.
Yeah, Splash.
Yes, he did Splash, where he murdered a mermaid, right? That's all I remember. These are great facts.
These are great facts. I think it's just interesting that this movie was shelved for like literally 4 years. And it's actually kind of not hard to see why it was brought back. I'll address that shortly. Because there's a lot of stars in the making here. But before I do that, let's get into Oregon facts, huh?
Yeah. It's the Beaver State. I want to say that. They got a beaver on their
Beaver
flag.
State.
Ha ha, Oregon.
And ha 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 ha, hee 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 hee.
Who did that?
It was... Did you find out why it was called the Beaver State?
No.
Its first governor was an actual beaver.
Oh, I think I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, Toothy Magoo. Let's see. It's got 4 million people, which is probably like the population of Brooklyn. It was
some of them are from Brooklyn.
Yeah, a lot of them are from Brooklyn.
Oh,
it was a state. Yeah,
that's where the
33rd state. Well,
okay.
What? I'm trying to get facts. What do you?
Well, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'll remember.
No, I want to hear your hot Robin Hood-esque fact you're going to drop here.
I was trying to remember. This is Vinton Studios. They were in Oregon, right? That did the dancing raisins. I think
but they're not Vinton. They're not Vinton anymore. They're
Well, he died, but I think he.
Yeah, and he also got forced out before he even passed away. It's the same people that did Coraline and stuff.
Oh,
which actually is a good point. We could have done any number of excellent stop motion films, but instead we did Pigs vs. Freaks.
Oh, I love this. Can't wait to get to it.
Yeah, I know you do. All right, so here's some other facts about it. It was founded in 1859. It was made a state, rather. It's the 33rd state. It's you may have heard of the Oregon Trail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Oregon Trail, famed with dysentery. The Oregon Trail is actually the name that you give when somebody has an accident and they leave a trail of diarrhea to the bathroom. That's called an Oregon Trail.
That's what people saw at yoga tonight, I think. Yeah. George did.
Good one, too. I like that you're inviting all our listeners to think of me shitting myself. This move is called the Downward Dog Facing Oregon Trail. What?
Yes.
Tim, did you come across this? The world's only official Bigfoot trap is in Oregon.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this. It's on the Siskiyou Ridge along the Rogue River, and it was actually installed in the 60s as a legit scientific thing. It's this giant cage that's meant to trap people. It was discontinued in the 70s. Bigfoot. Okay. By the 70s, they're like, there ain't no such thing as Bigfoot. So now it is currently it's permanently bolted open, but you can go visit this and see the world's only Bigfoot trap.
I got to see that. I got to see that. Did in the movies we've seen, did they tie up a dead college student? Like in
only half of them. They let their leg.
Okay.
They put their leg there.
Oh, that's
reference to Screams of the Mutilated.
Yes.
No, Shrieks of the Mutilated.
Shrieks.
Oregon is Bigfoot country, everybody. Mm-hmm. It is home of the North American Bigfoot Center, which is, I think, when the guys in Finding Bigfoot founded. I don't think they've actually found a Bigfoot yet, so they're probably not very good at it. First elevator.
100% failure.
Yeah, 100%. That's true of every cryptid ever. 100% failure to prove it. The first elevator, Tim, 1915 in Oregon City. And this is crazy. It is the Oregon City Municipal Elevator. It's not part of a building. Oregon City actually has a huge ridge through it that's like 100 feet high. And it was previously, these two neighborhoods were attached by stairs, but people are like, I don't want to walk up 100 feet of stairs. So in 1915, though the current structure was put in 1954, they built an elevator. And that was the first elevator in the whole state. So you could walk down your street.
People were that lazy then already?
Yep. I mean, Tim,
can
you walk up? Would you want to walk 100 feet up steps every time?
But when they got up there, they just went to the store and bought a bunch of Twinkies. Just lazy people.
That's because Twinkie. No, it was invented in Oregon?
The Twinkie.
Tater tots.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either, but Ore-Ida, who made tater tots, it stands for Oregon, Idaho.
The bane of high school.
Yep.
How many tater tots do you eat every day?
Oh, I fucking love tater tots, Jim. I in high school, I didn't get to eat any, or grade school. I was my mom would pack us healthy lunches. Like I would eat bean sprouts and shit. Like the other kids would be like, yeah, you fucking jerk, you jerk. So I didn't get to eat the bad food. But like now as an adult who eats a lot of bad food, if I go into a bar and I'm like doing a bar food thing and there's tater tots, you better believe I'm ordering some tater tots.
They're good.
Thank you, Oregon. And the first streetcar.
Name.
1872 in Portland.
1872.
And did you hear about Portland, how it got its name?
No.
It was made by East Coast settlers, and it was literally determined by a coin toss. Because of course, there was a Portland, Maine, which is older, and the other choice was Boston. And they literally flipped a coin to see what they're going to name it. So
nice.
Portland won out.
But
there's a universe out there. I didn't write that down.
So I wonder who was on that coin.
Oh, I wonder.
Just George Washington.
I bet you it was a Sasquatch.
Yeah, maybe. Well, in 1844, I want to point out a very sad thing about Oregon.
Oh,
maybe you saw this. They had a weird law called, in 1844, the Black Exclusion Law. It prevented African Americans from actually entering the state. Yes. So while simultaneously prohibiting slavery, slave owners who brought slaves in had to give them up in 3 years. And if they found you in the state and you were black, you could receive no less than 20 and no more than 30 stripes across the back if you did not leave when you were told. Yeah, 1844.
So, this kind of sums up a lot of my feelings about this state. Like, good job on the no slavery, bad job on the beating black people. Yeah, that's bad.
They want to pretend nothing.
Be better. Can I do my list?
Already? Okay. If it goes here.
Yeah, I wrote a list, because my list is top 10 ways to pronounce the state we're doing today.
Cool.
Sorry, because you've maybe noticed, we've already said, I know, Tim is just, every time he coughs, feathers fly out. I think while he was walking his dog in the park today, he maybe ate a pigeon.
Maybe.
You've missed a lot.
Maybe I have the long COVID cough.
Maybe. So these are the top 10 ways to pronounce, including the first one I'm going to say, which is what the fun, quirky facts of Oregon site says is the correct way. Mm-hmm. Oregon. Number 2, Oregon. Apparently that's not the way to do it.
Nope.
But who knows? Number 3, this one's for Cablasto. Oregon.
Okay. Gotcha.
Number 4, this one's for Republicans. Reagan. Number 5, this one's for minors. Oregon. Number 6, this one's for Italians. Oregano.
Nice.
Number 7, this is for the state of Kentucky. Original recipe. Number 8, Ohio. I got nothing for you. That's for it's just Ohio. Number 9, this one, Hippieville Central.
Nice.
And number 10, the best way, the most important way to pronounce Oregon, Orgonymous. Which brings us to the characters of this movie.
Dum, dum, dum. I can't actually play music from this movie because they actually were able to pay for songs. I was like, these are real songs.
Yeah. I noticed that. There was like a couple, at least in the beginning. It didn't last the whole way through the movie. Nope. We should mention this is a movie you can find on YouTube. You would think this is an abandoned film. But there's like some actual 60s era music. Well, so this is set in the late 60s. That's all we know.
This is what confused me about this movie, because only tonight did I read it's supposed to take place in the 60s, because I just looked at it and like, this is the 80s. it was like people went to a $1.99 store and bought their Halloween costumes to be both hippies and whatever. So I was like, why are these people in 1982 think there's still like hippies and pigs? It was very confusing.
But there's also, it's a major subplot that the Vietnam War is happening.
Yeah, Oh, I know. But it still looked like
when did you think the Vietnam War ended?
No, I know it ended in 1972. I was going to say, why is this town still think? Because the daughter's like, I want to go see the Jefferson airplane. I'm like, kid, it's the 80s. They're not even in 1975. I think they were already the Jefferson like starship or something.
Oh, let's see this. Let's look this up. I was excited for you, Tim, because you are a huge fan of Starship.
A little bit. No, not Starship. We'll get to that.
Like Starship specifically. Jefferson airplane. Looking this up. This is good listening. Founded in 1965. Oh, Tim, up until 1970, they were still Jefferson airplane, at least.
Yeah, well, I thought...
until 1972.
But I think this movie was after 75 because they talked about the war as if it was over. They're like, you went off to the war and came back, and these guys just stayed there. So
if you remember, the main character who is Neil Bruckheimer, when his friend comes back, he's like, "How are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I'm trying to get a deferment still." So the war is still an ongoing concern.
Wow.
Yeah.
But didn't you?
Let's go over the characters really quick.
I just thought it looked like 80s. Did you guys have 80s haircuts? Well, some had longer,
and some of them had bad wigs. So here's the characters. The basic plot of this movie is the pigs are cops, the freaks are hippies, and there's I guess our two main characters. If you want to like be really on, there's Chief Bruckheimer, who is the chief of the police, and his son
are you talking
Neil
about
Bruckheimer.
Brian Dennehy?
No, that's Sergeant Cheever.
Yes, okay.
The chief of the police, who is the main hippie's father.
Yeah, he's Eugene Roach. He's a famous actor. Did a lot of commercials.
Yep.
Look him up, people.
Yep.
Look him up.
Nope. Don't do it.
He was a movie called Winds of Kitty Hawk.
Is it about the Wright brothers?
Nope. It's you'd think that, but it's just about a place where there's a lot of farting. Thanks, Rexar McGillicuddy.
I wish that guy really sucks too. Sucks so hard. I just lost all steam. I'm gonna go lay down.
I just want to say Brian Dennehy plays the same character from Rambo around the same time.
But maybe you shouldn't say that because that's maybe ruining my story. Huh?
Oh, go ahead. What story?
Let me go. I want to go down the list. So there's Chief Bruckheimer, who's the chief of the police.
Yes.
There's Sergeant Cheever, played by Brian Dennehy, who is he is playing the guy from Rambo. He's a bit of a dick cop.
Mm-hmm.
He also, this is filmed in 1979 or 1980. You got to figure Brian Dennehy apparently never aged.
No.
Looked that way forever. Although this is only like 2 years before, like First Blood is like 82. So that's your first clue why this shelved movie got released. Because suddenly Brian Dennehy had a much bigger. And then on the other really notable person on the pig side is Doug Zimmer, played by Patrick Swayze.
Yep. Get him working out all oiled up and everything.
Yeah, he just has come back. His character's just come back from Vietnam. He's definitely got some PTSD issues, although they really don't know what that is yet at that point. But he's like, he becomes a cop, and he's all like in your face because on the freak side, there is the chief's son, Neil Bruckheimer, who this guy looked so old.
Yeah, I know.
And so I looked this up, Tim. The actor who plays him, Grant Goodeve, who, by the way, was the oldest son on 8 is Enough.
Oh, I didn't watch that show.
Starring, but we've talked about it before because that was the show with Dick Van Patten, noted pervert. Mm-hmm. If you listen to our show, Beware the Son of the Blob, or whatever it was called, Dick Van Patten is in that. He's terrible. He's a bad person. And this was his show. This guy played his son.
I didn't watch
this guy
because it said 8 is enough. And I was like, 8 is not enough. I need more. And they never delivered. So I never watched it. That was my stance. 8 was not enough.
That's good, Tim. That's why you only like have squids in your house and no octopuses. You're like, this guy have 10 legs, none of this fucking 8 leg shit. All right. Tim, get this though. This guy who's like, by all appearances, supposed to be a high school student, even though he looks clearly old.
35.
Grant Goodeve was born in 1952.
Ooh.
So this movie, which was, let's say it was filmed in 1980. So like he's 28 years old.
Yeah. Yep.
If this movie was actually filmed in 1970, like it seems to be set, he would actually be the right age to be playing a teenager.
Right. He would.
Because it's like 10 years later. He is dating the sister of Patrick Swayze, Janice Zimmer.
Yep, and he
but
hates
Janice is the ex of
Adam Baldwin.
Mickey South, Adam Baldwin himself, from Firefly and other movies. He was in My Bodyguard.
Oh, that's right. He was the bodyguard.
I think he was in wasn't he like in Air Force One or something? There's some movie where he's a Secret Service guy. Maybe it's the aforementioned what I said before about Independence Day. I could see him like with an earbud in, like protecting the president.
Yeah.
And Mickey is a draft dodger who has fled to Canada to become a lumberjack. Did he?
And he bought a really fake beard. I talk a lot about that.
He has a...
It's a beard that a girl would wear if she was playing one of the Three Wise Men at grade school play.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. Nobody could recognize him because he has this beard. Even his mother talks to him at one point, and she doesn't recognize him until he's like, "Ma, it's me." So like this is like some Clark Kent glasses level shit. Like this beard really disguises his identity. And then the last character I really want to mention on the freak side, well, I guess there's two. I want to leave one for Tim to talk about. There's Steamboat, who's played by Stephen Furst from Animal House.
I'm just calling him Flounder, George.
He's going to call him Flounder.
I'm calling him Flounder. He's playing Flounder, right?
No, Flounder is the uptight one, if you remember.
Wow.
You're thinking Bluto. He's doing it's Stephen Furst, like doing Bluto Blutarski.
Got it.
Like he's the only one who seems to do drugs.
I haven't seen Animal House in forever.
Okay. Let's just say this, folks. We're only scratching there are so many fucking characters in this movie.
It's too many.
It's bananas. There's too many. Like too many. That's why I wrote this down. And the one glass character is the one I know Tim is going to do a story about, and Tim's going to mention for weeks to come.
Organimus?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to him. Tony Randall. Tony Randall is in this movie, but we'll get to him.
The Odd Couple Zone, Rambada Organimus. Welcome back to the podcast, Tony Randall. Previously in season 1 episode with Theo Peck.
Yeah.
Noted shoplifter,
I think
Tony Randall.
He didn't know what was going on, Tony.
He knew. He fucking knew.
He was known as being a brownie thief around town.
Whoa, that sounds dirty.
Little Debbie's.
He's all like, I'm going to steal your brownies. I'm going to get you brownies. Whoa, Tony Randall, you sex pervert. All right, so there.
What do you want to start?
I gave you all I don't know. Because here's the thing.
The mayor's worried about commies and hippies. We established that.
Yep.
I don't know why.
We didn't even mention the mayor as a character. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just, he's in here now and then. He's a goof guy. He's like worried all the time, and he's building a tank. Foreshadowing. It's supposed to be a joke. Like, the police have tanks now. He's like, I got a tank ready for the hippies and the commies.
Why? Yeah, it is like it's kind of eerie living that we live in the era of militarized police.
Yes.
But that is a weird bit.
And all
he's also, I should mention, he's probably a famous old guy, but he was virtually indistinguishable to me to like 5 other famous old guys in this movie.
I got tired of going into people, like what their history is. He's been in so many shows.
Was he in the Wizard of Oz?
No, just Twilight Zone, I think.
No, just wait, really?
I think he was.
Was he the guy in the wing that?
Yes.
That William Shatner
scared William Shatner.
Yeah. Ooh.
He tried out for that part.
Yeah. He's like, you're not hairy enough.
But people all at a big speech. They're eagerly wait, what is happening? They're all upset because Return of the Jedi came out. It's over. No more Star Wars.
There we go. Return of the Jedi jokes, everybody.
Well, we frame our movies in reference to when they came out.
No. But when we say you. Yeah, you.
So hippies are playing football on this park where everything's illegal. The list went by so fast. I was like, sitting, walking, football is illegal. You wouldn't think football is illegal. That's very anti-commie kind of thing.
I also thought it was like weird. I don't think of hippies being athletic normally.
No, there's no reason for them to be playing football. The hippies would not do that.
The only reason, the reason that we get is that they were high school athletes. And we're led to believe these people, especially the like 30-year-old main character, is only like maybe a year out of high school because his father makes a comment about like, you could have gone to college athletics.
Yeah.
Teaches you to be a man.
It's all confusing.
So instead he and his hippie friends just hang out and play football all day in the park.
And they're talking about the new Jefferson Airplane album. They do.
Were they?
Yes.
There was a lot of Jefferson Airplane mentions in this.
They're talking about how we're going to get to Woodstock. See, they should have said that.
They didn't say it. No, because I think this movie, like as you said, I think this is set maybe after Woodstock. Woodstock's 1969.
They should have been
right?
like, "Whoa, I missed out on Woodstock, man. I was there, man." Yeah, that's what they should have said.
You're right, Tim.
So,
wait, is 1969 like? Is that like going to be your like? We don't see a lot of movies. Is that going to be like every time that comes up, you're going to mention Woodstock?
No.
Was Altamont in 1970? Could you do that for this one?
Yeah, but that's sad. People were murdered. Remember?
Yeah, well,
on film.
Yeah. Well, you know what? 1980, when John Lennon was killed, somebody was murdered then too. You bring that up all the time.
Well,
I have a question, Tim.
Altamont was supposed to be a good time.
It was. So was, I mean, depending on your point of view of what happened to John Lennon, if you're a monster, good time.
How many members are in the Rolling Stones back then?
Like 7?
Yeah, 7.
I think Brian Jones is already dead. He already drowned in that pool.
7 is
Keith
not.
Richards was still alive, but undead.
7 is not enough either, George. So I didn't listen to that.
No.
8 wasn't enough.
I get it.
7's not enough.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't see this coming. I'm just so relaxed.
Nope.
You started it.
Yeah, I started nothing. All right.
So they're talking about drugs, and they fall on some ladies while playing football, and like, hey, and it's Neil, and he's talking to Janice. That's the girl who is the brother to Patrick Swayze, and seems like they're dating. And
wait, no, oh yeah,
Neil and Janice.
Very specifically,
yeah.
Neil, who is
Janice.
the son of the police chief, and Janice are definitely dating.
Yep.
That's a major plot point.
Yep.
Okay.
That park is illegal to get high in. It's illegal for Flounder to sleep in the park. Hey, I did write down what it said. It's illegal to have, it's illegal for Flounder to bury his dead pet goldfish in the park. Sorry, I'm going to call him Flounder. What's his name in this movie?
Steamboat.
Steamboat. I like that name better. Yeah. I just the whole movie, I'm like, there's Flounder. Anyway, and I feel bad for him in this movie. A lot of the humor is just him shaking, like working out, and like, oh, there goes his blubber. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. And he's also, because this is a TV movie, even though these are hippies, when Tim is saying drug use, the drug use is never really shown.
No, we never see anybody smoke.
There's a weird bit, actually, when the cops come to their house later, where one of the people says it's a raid, and Flounder grabs
the big brick.
His grass.
He's got a big
but
brick
it's
of it.
literally
it's green.
It's literally, but it's clearly lawn clippings.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's not weed at all. It's like they're being very literal about grass, and then there's like this hilarious scene of him shoving this fistfuls of this lawn clippings into the toilet,
and he's got his face next to the toilet. I'm like, you don't need to get your face down there. What's going on?
Well, he likes to sniff. That's why they call him Steamboat, because he likes to get the steaminess in his face.
Do you think he was super high and someone sold him a brick of lawn clippings?
I honestly think that they knew that this was such a bad movie that they're like, people like this movie, like as Tim was pointing out off camera before we started this like, it's like weirdly fetishizing hippies in a way.
Oh yeah.
But it's like in a time where I don't think anybody was into hippies in 1980 to 84. Everyone's like, fuck hippies.
Yes.
So I feel like they're like, hippies were so removed from the scene at this point. They're like, yeah, who cares? Just like give them bad wigs. These hippies also, like, supposedly they're always involved in protests and stuff. Really, all we ever see these hippies do is hang around the park and play football.
And they live in a rundown house.
And a bunch of them live in a house.
And they kind of say, oh, what are we going to do with our life, man? I don't know what I'm going to do, man. And she's like, you can move in with me. Yeah, they're trying to portray both sides kind of evenly, but it's all ridiculous.
Yeah, they do. That's actually a good point. I didn't like the cops in this movie. But I didn't like the hippies either. So I spent this movie just being like scornful of every character.
Because to Frank's daughter, the police chief, she runs in and she's asking to go to a love-in.
Yeah, there's like a 12-year-old, like the little sister of Neil, the 30-year-old teen, like high school student. And like, she's like, he's this bad influence. She comes in with like body paint, like Goldie Hawn and that old TV show and stuff.
And the mom's
so basically
like, let her go to a love-in, dear.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a love-in is. I don't think they did either.
I think it's an orgy, Tim.
Maybe. I don't know. Hey.
So basically, here's the thing: the cops are hassling the the freaks. The pig's house and the freaks. And I mean, I don't really know how we got there, but basically it comes down to they agree they're going to do a game.
Yeah, they threaten
where
each other.
the hippies are going to play a football game against the cops.
Yep.
And then we spend the rest of the movie with both sides, and we see like their struggles.
Well,
and then it becomes a more
was going
personal.
To be shut down. Remember, it was going to be shut down, but people started betting on it because the mayor's like, I don't want this game happening. But
I don't remember that part. I know that there's a big bit where they're betting on it. Yeah.
But then the police are like, don't worry, we're doing this. And they do it behind the mayor's back. And then there's betting, and the mayor bets on it, which is very hilarious.
Yeah, we're actually supposed to kind of think the cops are okay by the end of this movie, which I was upset by too. And it becomes a more personal bet for our main character, Neil, because his father adds a detail in there. His father, the police chief.
Yeah.
If the cops win, he has to shave his head because he's always yelling at him, take that wig off. I mean, get a haircut.
And what did the cops have to do? Did we say? Did they ever say? If
there was
the freaks
something.
win?
What did they have to do? I think it was the freaks just. I think it was just like the basic level for them was like the freaks could just play football in the park.
Okay, which is what freaks
These
want to
fucking
do.
athletic hippies, yeah. And the cops just want to. So it's just like,
Well, the cops.
there's not good motivation except for Neil because he wants to keep his hair. So Neil he sees the sad state of the hippies, and he's like, what we need is our old friend who was like a great
teacher.
high school football player. He was a teacher.
Yeah, he says he's our former teacher or something.
I'm not get to Organimus yet. I'm getting up to their friend, who was a great high school player. Who, when he got his draft card, he burned it and fled to Canada. This is what's his name, Adam Baldwin,
with a very fake beard. He's washing dishes in Canada, but he's telling them he's having a great time.
He's telling me he's a lumberjack, and here's where we learn that he used to be dating Janice, and when he left Janice behind. So Neil puts his girlfriend Janice on the phone with her ex-boyfriend to ask him to come back so he could play football. And he's like, I can't do that. I'm wanted by the government.
I know. Neil is
if I
a terrible
step foot
person.
in there. Neil is a bad person. But they kind of put the screws to him, and then that sets up. Then they go to their old teacher, and I'm going to let Tim talk about this guy.
Well, wait. I want to emphasize how bad Neil is because what else does he do? They got to get a black football player. And he's like, and here's a cute girl if you'll play for us, because he wasn't going to play. He's like, this cute lady will date you. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll play for you.
Okay. Yeah,
like, you're pimping out a woman just to get this guy. He's a college football guy.
Yeah, there's stuff like happening on the cop side too. They bring in like a professional player and stuff. I don't know. It's
That's
just
why this all happened. It's all crap.
Garbage. It's all crap. This movie sucked.
Cops are spying on the freaks working out. Freaks are
it's not the cops, Tim.
Oh, sorry. The CIA, FBI?
Well, whoever is in charge of nailing draft dodgers is. The government is.
It's the government.
We keep seeing these scenes where like they'll be watching from afar because they're aware that maybe this guy Mickey is going to come down from Canada. He's going to go south. Mickey South is going to go south, so to speak.
So you wanted me to get Tony Randall. For some reason, they want Tony Randall, who is now Rambaba Organimus. He's a hippie guru. Lives with the harem of young ladies, like just him and them.
Yep. 3 young women.
Nobody knows.
Not really dressed. Everybody thinks he's cute.
So
he looks like a shitty Jesus, we should say.
Yeah, $1.99 hippie costume. He went and got it at the store.
And in case you're not familiar with Tony Randall to the degree I am, which I wasn't, I looked this up. This is Tony Randall post Odd Couple.
Oh yeah.
This is also Tony Randall past his own show, The Tony Randall Show. So this is like, I think this is Tony Randall starting to hit the skids.
He made a lot of money. I hate to say he was ever on the skids.
I'm sure.
Like when he's 80, he had a child.
I know. I mean, probably with one of those women he was living with in this movie. Also, you say he was never in the skids, but he did steal a brownie from Theo Peck.
That's right. Well, he was on the skids then.
Yeah. Then he had the skids, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Get it?
And if you know Tony Randall, I think like he's ill cast as hippie. He's so well known as Felix.
Yeah, but I give him credit for going outside of his, like, because he's famous for playing an anal retentive, uptight character, and he plays this wacky guru guy.
Yep.
All right, so Organimus used to be their coach, then he dropped out, became this guru, and now he's their coach again.
And they have to have a big meeting at the town hall to approve this game because now people are betting on it and they want it to be charity, and that's why Now they can do it. Remember?
That's what. No, I knew there was a meeting at the town hall.
But Organimus shows up with his girls, like the Manson girls. They all sit in the pews and go, freak power, freak power.
Yeah. And he has
totally Manson family vibes.
He has a swastika carved into his forehead.
I was going to say.
One of his girls goes and shoots Gerald Ford midway through. It's weird.
It is weird. And then they also chant, kill the pigs. I'm like, whew. These
and
cops
they do.
put up with it. The cops are like, we like it. It's badge of honor. They call us pigs.
Yeah.
Like
that's a big thing. And we should mention there's some cops who are just kind of goofy guys. There is Brian Dennehy, who is a bit of a hard ass. And then there's, I guess like kind of our somewhat sympathetic character of Patrick Swayze.
Yep. Later
and this is, by the way, in case you haven't figured this out, this movie was shelved, never be released, clearly. And like Brian Dennehy and Patrick Swayze, like, The Outsiders happened, and First Blood happened, and all these movies happened where these people like, oh, and fucking Animal House happened.
Right.
All these movies with these fucking turds in it came out in between this, and like they're like, well, let's release this movie with all these famous people in it now.
Yeah. Well, they had that big meeting, and later that night, Organimus, he sent a few of his girls to Chief Brockheimer's house armed with knives and guns so they could start the race war. They went they went to the wrong house, and they got high and fell asleep listening to Jefferson Airplane.
Oh, what did they write on the walls, though, in chocolate?
Kill the pigs. Obviously, that's what they were chanting.
Oh, they did?
That's what they were chanting.
They got it down.
That was in the movie.
But then that's why all that livestock gets slaughtered, and it's really sad.
Yes.
Yeah,
those cows are sleeping. Milk, George. We steal it.
What? Milk?
We steal it from cows.
You steal milk? What?
It's for baby cows, and we take the baby cows away and we lock them in a cage and make them veal.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, that's your vegetarian
moment.
I'm
going to break character here for a second. I want to Tim. By the way, Tim, not a vegetarian. Tim, you grew up in a rural area.
I did. They were very rural.
Did you at night? Would you sneak out and steal milk from cows?
Yeah, we.
Would you really?
If there was no milk in the morning, I get such a spanking.
Get such a whooping. How much of your rural existence was like this movie? Like, did you and the other hippies hang out in the park playing football all day?
Yep, and I cranked up my record player to play Jefferson Airplane.
Put
that big microphone on it.
Because you played Starship, though. You'd be like, we built this city.
No, come on. I'm old,
We built this city on rock. Yeah, but you still loved it.
Do you know, I am old enough. I was in school. My roommate, he was a big Jefferson Airplane and Jefferson Starship fan. And we're like, there's going to be a new video. They're called Starship now. It's going to be premiere on MTV. And we were like, come watch it with me. Like, oh, yeah, cool.
How did he hear that?
That's what we did. MTV would do that back in the day. MTV would premiere new songs. You don't remember this? You weren't around.
But how would you know in advance?
They advertised it because you watched MTV, George. You watched MTV.
So they would be like, MTV
coming up tomorrow,
was like...
premiere Starship video. Yeah, they did that.
Like... premiere video from a new incarnation of a crusty old 60s band. Next on MTV.
And he put it on, and we both looked at each other, and I was like, John, why is your spirit leaving your body?
John, why are you crying?
Why do you seem to be aging fast?
Which Starship song was it?
Built This City. That was their big premiere song.
That was
the hit.
We built this city. I can just picture like little Tim with his bowl cut in a field next to a bunch of cows he just finished surreptitiously milking, listening on his giant Walkman, listening to We Built This City, just grooving out, just shaking his little butt.
Flounder. He was more into hot tuna. That's a spin-off band of Jefferson Airplane. I bet you know that.
Oh, I didn't.
And the KBC band. They had many splinter groups. The KBC band, the Hot Tuna Band.
What is that? What's KBC?
It's like Kantner and the other two names. I forget their names. It's been so long.
They suck. I hate everything about this.
You never heard a KBC album, George?
Nope.
All right.
Never did.
If you hung out with the Freaks, you'd hear it.
No. Yeah, Tim. Which of the two sides did you feel the greater kinship with? The Freaks or the pigs?
The guy taking the bets, I think.
Oh yeah, so there's a funny side. There's a bookie, and even the mayor is betting on it, and the cop catches him. He's like, "You're the mayor. You should be." I don't know. This movie sucks.
I was gonna say Organimus, but it's just that he's living with a harem of young girls. I just related with him that he was like, "Yeah, I don't care, just meditate and win the game." But he's also got the harem of young girls, so
You're saying that because producer Miss Lee is nearby.
Yes.
If she was still out of town, you'd be like, fucking Organimus is my hero.
She says, we're not going to play the monkey.
When I grow up, I want to be Tony Randall. I want to put a baby in a lady when I'm 90.
Sorry. Neil, what?
Yeah, Neil.
He moves out. It's a big dramatic moment. Like moves out.
He moves out from because up until now he was living with his dad.
Yep.
Bumming money off him still.
Yeah, fighting.
He moves with the other dirty hippies.
Flounder has we said this. He has a Jeep, by the way. Steamboat.
Flounder?
Steamboat.
Steamboat Flounder.
I think Spielberg saw this and he's like, this is mean to just make jokes about his flubber bouncing around. But what if we took a child and we made him a joke with this, called him Chunk?
You know,
that would be
That's
funny.
a reference to Goonies, which is another movie that was filmed in Oregon.
Right. That's true. And we didn't mention it.
Yeah. We could have done that.
No.
We could have done Goonies instead of this.
It's too good.
Actually, the thing about
It's
Goonies
bad,
that is
but-
crazy is how does Goonies not have a sequel? That seems like that's a movie that should have had a sequel.
No,
like
how could
Goonies
that happen
2,
again? That would ruin it.
Well, they already have a fucking sloth among them. Once you have a giant guy who's got lopsided eyes and like his superhuman strength as part of your group, weird shit's gonna happen.
But aren't they making one? Like they're older and their kids are Goonies now. Don't you think that'd be?
Oh boy, I don't know. I mean, are any of them still alive? Wait,
A lot of them. But they have kids.
Yeah, a lot of them are. Oh
These
shit,
kids
because
are
one of
Goonies.
them, Brand, he's Thanos now,
Yep.
and Mickey is Samwise.
Yeah, he went into Samwise. And
Yep,
I forget the rest. I know that I can see the woman's face, but I forget what else.
Data just won an Oscar for Everyone Everywhere All at Once.
Yep, Data.
And Chunk is dead.
Poor guy. He always gets nicknames. He's either Short Round, Data. What was he in Goonies?
He was Data.
Tool Man. Oh, that was Data, right?
No, he was Data.
Data the Tool Man. Data. I don't know.
Data.
He had the tools in his belt. That's all I remember.
Tim, do you say Data or Data?
It's not. If you think about this movie too much, yeah, it's not good. Goonies.
Yeah, let's talk about Goonies instead, though. So I would say in Goonies, the character most likely to what was the thing?
Go on a hike in Greenland, a 40-mile
Go on a hike.
40 mile.
Yeah, Chunk. At the end, he does the truffle shuffle.
Okay.
Also, know what I just realized, Tim?
What?
Goonies isn't directed by fucking Steven Spielberg. It's Joe Dante.
He produced it though, right?
Yeah, I guess he did.
He
yeah.
wrote it, pissed all over it. It's mine.
Mine, just like Poltergeist.
Put more-
Take that, Toby Hooper.
More skeletons in it.
I am really making every
lens
effort not to
flares.
talk about this movie.
Well.
All right.
Well,
Hey,
I
can we
have
skip to
something
big
to
plot
say.
points?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it. List.
Mr. Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
He does come to town, and he has a fake name, and his friend's like, who's that guy with the fake beard? And he's like, it's me, and I'm going to go by a different name because I don't want to get caught. I came to help you guys out. And I think he calls himself Tommy. What's his real name?
His real name is Mickey South. I don't remember what he called himself.
But he
I think he
considered,
called himself Kanye West.
considered 3 other names that he hoped people wouldn't be looking for. You know, people you don't look for. Because
Waldo.
he doesn't want people looking for him. So the first name, Eric Trump.
Eric Trump.
Gotcha.
Okay. Ooh, take that, Eric.
Pete Best.
Take that, Pete Best. I was going to ask you before we were talking about John Lennon. What do you think Pete Best was doing as this movie was set? Yeah, nobody knew. All right, what's the last one?
And even though this is a bit of a time warp, Shia LaBeouf. So take that, Shia LaBeouf.
Take that, Shia LaBeouf. Wow. Welcome to the podcast, Shia LaBeouf. Rubbing shoulders with Pete Best, Eric Trump, and other contemporaries.
So
yeah, and I just want to add this in as just so people know, the character Adam Baldwin is playing Mickey, who is the draft dodger. Tim keeps mentioning he has a fake beard.
No, it's
in
so
the
fake.
movie, it's not a fake beard.
It is so
but
fake,
It is
George.
I know, but like it's not like the character is supposed to be wearing a fake beard. That's meant to be his beard.
I know. That's what I mean. It's fake.
I just want
So
to
fake.
I just want to stress that. Like it's not like this character is wearing a disguise. No, it's such a fake wig and such a fake beard.
He's a method
He
actor.
comes back.
He made that
and,
beard out of all of his pubic hairs. And some that he brought from the Baldwin brothers. I guess they're his cousins.
No, they're not related to him at all.
Oh, I thought they were distant related.
I don't think so.
All right. We're not going to get into that controversy. We've talked for 50 minutes. When Flounder was flushing the toilet, all the grass, the cops were like, what's going on with your toilet? And they're like, humana. It's just so funny. They felt they had to explain it. But I have a list. A list. They were left out. The list of reasons I gave the cops as to why the toilet was being flushed so much. They said it's because Flounder or Steam. What's his name? Steamroller?
Steamboat.
Steamboat. He ate a bucket of hummus last night.
That's a time warp. I don't think hummus was known in those states in 1970.
Oh, yeah.
Good list so far, Tim. He lost his spot.
Flounder's family of goldfish died after he fed them a bucket of hummus, and he's flushing them one at a time. So that's more respectful.
Again, the cop's like, what was his hummus now?
Hummus. Hippies eat hummus. Lentils.
Okay.
2 lentils also.
Lentils. Okay.
All right. That's a list of 2. It should be 3. But
yeah, it should be. Wait, that's a list of 2 is not a list.
Scribble the third one out.
How about this one? They're just like, have you seen Flounder? That guy just takes mega shits constantly.
Yes, that's number 3.
Ta-da! We call him Steamboat because he Tim.
What?
We call him they call him Steamboat because he makes the big muddy.
Yes.
Steamboat is Big Muddy, another name of the Mississippi.
Right.
The
Mississippi.
It all comes
right back
this
to Mark
is a better
Twain.
joke. Mark Twain. Oh, dude, is Mark Twain.
No, he's not. I'm just saying. Mark Twain sailed the river Muddy on the Mississippi.
All right. Yep. I just want to mention this because Tim is going to derail us with who knows what. So if you remember the character of Janice, who is currently dating our main character, Neil, she used to be dating and was madly in love with Adam Baldwin's character of Mickey. Mm-hmm. And during this time, the 3 of them are hanging out a lot. And it's pretty fucking clear that she's fallen for Mickey again. Yep. Like they slide down a slide together and like just kind of caressing each other at the bottom. And like up at the top, Neil is watching with his 35-year-old self being like, I'm sad that my girlfriend is hugging her ex-boyfriend right in front of me. This becomes a plot point because just to move this thing along, eventually.
Well, you can see him. Nobody's allowed to touch his beard. I'm just saying. It's so fake. It's like, don't touch my beard.
That just falls off. So
a common saying, George, in 1982. Whatever year this came out. 1984?
84.
Common saying,
July of 84. Yeah.
Back then was the only thing more fake than Baldwin's fake beard in Freaks versus Pigs is the moon landing. That was a common saying in Oregon.
It's common saying.
Oregon. There you go.
Do you think when Baldwin is wearing a wig, he becomes Hairwin?
Yeah, you got it. Make a meme.
Because he's no longer bald.
Meme that.
Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, meme that. Yep.
I'm going to meme it.
So I really want to move this forward.
I know.
Just so you all know. Yeah. So here's what you need to know.
We're talking.
Janice, Janice does fall in love with Mickey. And she tells the guy, Neil, like, when this is over, I'm going to go with Mickey back to Canada. Mm-hmm. And he's like, just give me a few more days, Janice. She's like, okay, but he's Adam Baldwin and you're the oldest son on 8 is Enough. I'm clearly going to go with him. Have you seen him? He's like 6'5".
Yes.
Then the big game happens.
Well, we did. I just want to say we get workout montages of both, and the freaks are meditating and dancing, and the cops are like, we're working out, but they're old and they're like, I'm sweaty, I'm tired, I need a beer. So just wanted to bring that up.
We are treated to a beer scene between Patrick Swayze as allegedly sympathetic cop and Brian Dennehy, where he's like, I don't feel comfortable with your methods, Brian Dennehy. You're a real fucking pig. And Brian Dennehy's like, you got to use force and fear to rule these stupid kids.
He's like, I miss the days I was a king when I walked down these streets and I kick people.
Now they call me a pig just because I have a pink curly tail and I wallow in the mud eating my own refuse.
It's funny he said that. It's funny that happened.
It's weird. It's weird that Brian Dennehy, noted character actor, agreed to do that. Can we get up to the end yet? Is there any other scenes we need to talk about?
So we have a game where, of course, the freaks are behind.
Are we talking about the final game?
Well, I don't know where you're going here.
I should say this. This movie is an hour and a half. I'd say the last 45 minutes are the final game.
Yes.
It's so long.
And he has a fake beard that's all sweaty now. Just want to mention that.
Yeah.
I watched this beard, George. Got a lot to say about this beard.
You didn't watch anything else in the movie.
Different beard.
You watched
it was all wet.
Tifford.
Yeah, the wet and sweaty one.
And this is important also to mention. At this point, it's been brought to the cops' attention. These dudes come up to them and are like, hey, just so you know, we're going to be interrupting the game shortly to arrest Mickey South. We've been watching this guy. These are government agents.
They're feds.
He's a draft dodger. He's come back in. We're going to arrest him. And the cops, because now we're supposed to think the cops are okay. They're like, no, this game is so important to morale around here.
It's not fair.
If they see this happen, they're going to turn against us. Can you please just wait until the end of the game? And the feds are like, okay. And they're like, we show some pictures. The cops are really kicking the hippies' ass at this point.
Because on the other side of the field.
And then this is when.
Oh, sorry. Do you have to finish the thought?
And there's that. No, what is
I have something related to
to
say. Related. This is when we see the other team, the Freaks, Steamboat. Is that his name? Steamboat? Steamroller?
Yep.
Steamboat comes up to the Gatorade package, and he's going to like Cosby the whole like Pigs team. He's like, I'm going to put these drugs in here. Remember that? And Neil's like, no, that's not fair.
You're right. Yeah. By Cosby, he was going to actually, I forgot he was going to dose them.
And he eats all of them. He's just like, oh, well.
And he eats
all of them. I was like, wow.
Yep.
This is a TV movie.
And then he
flips
for the rest
out.
of the movie.
He flips out.
Fucking murders everybody.
He went to somebody's house. He tried to start a race war. He steamboated their toilet.
He was lucky though, because right next door was Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, and they changed history. But it was okay because
12-year-old daughter wants to be a freak cheerleader. Got to get that in there.
Okay, that is important.
Yeah.
Game starts up again, and Patrick Swayze, who's been really against, remember his sister is like hanging out these hippies. He's not happy about that. And he goes up to the guy, Mickey, and he's like, there's about to be a pass off, and he's trying to hide why he's doing this.
Oh, they're helping. They're helping Mickey get away.
He's helping but he does it in a way he's like, hey, Mickey, see those guys behind the cops there? They're federal agents. They're going to get you. And Mickey drops a pass. He's like, yeah, I thought that would screw you up. But we know he really did that to give him a chance to escape. I
know.
So Mickey sees this, and Mickey's like, oh, no. And he tells the guys, and this is the big heroic moment of Neil.
Yep.
Neil's like, I'm going to, not that I should have any control over my girlfriend. She's her own person. But I'm gonna surrender her, and she's gonna have the crazy freak van, which I never noticed in the movie before, but we got one.
Police can't track that.
It's got fucking human teeth. Yeah. She's gonna wait for you at the other end of the field, and now we're gonna do a last play where it's gonna mean that we don't win because there's all this football shit. I'm not getting the football stuff.
I didn't understand that.
And
there's a lot of slow motion football. Like what's happening?
Like this game we really see every play of this football game. It's like I'm a comic book artist. I think as a comic book artist, you're not allowed to understand football. I don't get football.
There was only one funny joke before we get all. One little bit funny joke that could have been funnier, but Tony Randall plays a cool, like, let's meditate, let's dance. And then halfway through the game when they're getting their asses kicked, then he's like, you bastards, get out there.
Yeah, he snaps into being an old coach self.
Anyway, that's the only point that kind of got funny. They do this last move where basically they're going to eat it. They're not going to possibly tie the game or win the game, but it's going to give Adam Baldwin's chance to escape in the hippie mobile with his girlfriend to Canada, which they do. Because when they catch Neil, he's wearing Adam's fake beard, Did that actually happen? Because I was expecting that to happen, and it didn't. It could have happened. I thought he was going to wear his uniform because they're like number 82. That's hard. So there were suds. And then we totally forgot to mention this. Why were there suds? I fell asleep for a minute. Because the mayor was making the fucking tank. Oh, the tank was being sent in. Then the tank, and this I don't understand why. Because hippies were getting excited. So the cops, this is important, the cops win, meaning they win, they beat the hippies. What's his name gets get his head shaved. Neil. All that shit, right? Neil's got to get his head shaved. And his girlfriend leaves, goes to Canada, and then suddenly a tank comes onto the field and starts shooting everybody with suds. Oh. Like the cannon. Why was there suds in there? I don't know. Is that like the joke? That's what we missed. They edited something out. Somebody, I think there was put that, suds in there. I think it was probably in there. Just like at this point, it was during the course of 45 minutes of mind numbing football shit. And I'm just like, whatever. So they're shooting, and then the cops are all sudsy, and the freaks are all sudsy, and they're all just being all good buddies. Like, let's do this again next year. Yeah, I know. And then the movie, he even says, "You don't have to shave your head," doesn't he? You don't have to shave your head. He goes, he goes to his father, like, well, choose the barber, Pop. And his father knows what he did. He's like, you helped your friend escape. And the cops are suddenly the pigs are suddenly cool. Even Brian Dennehy, and they're all hugging each other. If you look carefully in the background, Flounder is definitely making out with one of the cops. It's hot.
And
Organimus
the movie
is hugging those
freeze
young girls. Yeah, he's laughing.
He's goosing them. So, woo, 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 and the movie ends. And then I bolted upright from my position I've been slowly sinking into as I watched on my couch.
I know.
And said, well, thank goodness that's over, and turned it off and went to bed.
And then he hugs his daughter, who's a freak cheerleader. They're like, you're forgiven. Revenge. Wherever you are, wherever you're hiding, I'll find you.
Revenge.
One of us will die.
Who from this movie? Gotta make this good. Real quick.
Right.
Likely to go on a 40-mile hike in Greenland. It's obviously Mr. Fake Beard Baldwin, right?
Mickey South.
He
Yeah.
left the
Why?
country. Because they came to...
You know that Greenland's... Oh, actually, he could probably get to Greenland fairly easy from Canada, couldn't he?
Yep. In Canada,
Yep.
they found out he was wearing that fake beard, and that's a big no-no in Canada. It's a big faux pas. The fake beards
They kicked him out?
trying to look like a lumberjack. Yeah.
Did they give him a trial at Tim Hortons and they
Yep.
said, you have to get out of here, eh?
Sent him to Greenland.
And they sent him to Greenland. He walked how many miles there?
40.
Tim, how many kilometers is that? Because they use
Kilometers.
kilometers in Greenland.
Yeah. It is about 45 kilometers.
I
get
don't
to the
think that's
chopper.
true at all. Pretty sure a mile is like 2 point something. I think it's a lot of kilometers.
Well,
I think it's a long hike.
yeah.
But you know what? He was in good shape.
40 miles. That's
He
enough.
was tall.
Mhm.
Yep. Was Janice with him still?
No, because she's upset about the whole fake beard thing.
Oh,
Once he
they
took
start
it off,
making out.
She's like, "What?
Uh-huh.
I don't know you without the beard. I guess it was the beard I loved." So
Which was the beard the whole
he
time.
went to find himself and went on that walk. The end.
Wow. The end.
But-
Great movie.
But
Oh,
no,
but
I went
wait.
to,
Wait.
Your eyes like, no,
Everybody-
let's end it.
I want people to know that it wasn't the interjection. Tim was just standing up and pointing at his own ass, saying, but. All right.
I did a short story about what would happen
I-
after this
I
movie,
have a
George.
pretty- I have a short one too. Can I go first? Because yours is
amazing.
going to be very long and all about Organimus.
Go ahead.
It is. All right. Okay. So now the official revenge story. Tim, can you play my music?
Okay, it's playing.
But not that one. Play the other one.
I'm not sticking with
The
this one.
disco one. I want you to play the disco
No,
one.
staying with this one.
Because it's the 70s, man. They're about to get into the 70s.
All right, disco one.
Disco. Yeah, but make it a better disco one. All right. Okay. So, as you maybe noticed during the during discussion of this movie, we kept referring to the character of Steamboat as Flounder. For the movie, the character he played in Animal House.
And the Animal House
Animal
TV
House-
show that he's used to told me. Just
And yes,
Throwing
and
some facts in there.
Delta House. Yeah. And this is, if you remember the way Animal House ended, it actually showed the futures of a bunch of the characters. It would have a screenshot of them during the climactic
yeah.
parade disruption. And so, weirdly, the sequel to Pigs versus Freaks, or Freaks versus Pigs, I forget what it is, starts out the same way, where we get updates on some of these characters, okay?
oh,
Starting with Flounder, yeah. Flounder, Steamboat is Flounder.
cool. Yes.
He actually, because that movie is set in the late 50s. He just dropped out of school. That was set also in Oregon. He never moved back. He started acting like Bluto Blutarsky. He would smoke actual grass, not weed, actual grass all day. He became
Okay.
horribly brain damaged from all the stuff, and that's just him. That's what he is.
That's him.
So that's where he is. Yeah. Brian Dennehy, Sergeant Cheever. Yeah, he moves up to Washington, next state up. He becomes the sheriff there, and he has a pretty good existence throwing out drifters until one day John Rambo comes to town. And let me tell you, there's some first blood drawn then.
There is.
Yeah. Last time we saw, well, actually, let's talk about Doug first. Doug Zimmer. That's he moves to New York. He becomes a banker. Unfortunately, he gets murdered.
Uh-oh.
But the good news is he becomes a ghost. He briefly inhabits the body of Whoopi Goldberg, and he sets his it's good. He also stops off and he works at he works as like a bouncer for a while there. He does a lot. It turns out, that guy.
Nice. He does.
His sister, last we saw of her, Janice, she and what's his name,
Adam
Mickey,
Paulo.
Mickey South headed north to Canada, where Tim, I'm happy to report they had children. They were married happily ever after. Their children married. Their children married. Their children married. 500 years passed.
Yeah.
And one of their descendants, Jane Cobb, took to the stars.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. On this, Jane Cobb, on Firefly.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So like all these characters, right? Yeah. Yeah. All these characters did all these great stuff. And here's the sad part. This is where the revenge part comes in. Neil Bruckheimer.
Yeah.
The son of the police chief. He's like, Pop, he gave up everything. He gave up his girl. He lost to the pigs, so they couldn't play in the park anymore.
Yeah.
And he even said to his dad, you choose the barber. His dad's like, I'm not going to do it. The next day, his dad wakes up and looks at his son's like, you know what? Fuck it. I am going to shave your head. Wrestles him to the ground, shaves that fucker bald. Doesn't just stop with the head, Tim. He shaves off his left eyebrow, too. And he goes, you fucking deadbeat, you piece of shit. And his son goes back to the hippie dump that he calls home.
Right.
And they're all like, you can't live here now, you bald fuck. And they throw actual lawn clippings at him.
No baldies allowed.
Until he leaves. Yeah, and he goes back home and he has to live under his sister's bed.
Mm.
And he decides he's going to get revenge.
Does he change his name to Lex?
That would be pretty good, though. Nah, no, I know what he does. He just cuts his dad's head off and makes a football out of it.
Ooh.
And that's why footballs are called pigskins.
What?
That's my story.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
What? I told you it was short. It was a lot of setup, but that's it. Boom. Short and sweet. And you want to know what that movie was called? You know what that movie's called?
Pigskins.
It's called The Ewok Adventure.
Come on.
Because they missed the other Star Wars movies. It doesn't at all. No, not at all.
I thought Ed Gein created the pigskin football.
No, he created his mother's skin football.
Right. Okay.
Ed Gein had a belt made of nipples, Tim. Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
Yeah, you have a nipple made of belts.
Yes, I do.
That's weird.
Goes around my chest.
All right, I'm going to go leave the room while you do yours, okay?
No, you're not.
All right. I'm not really.
For the next scene, we learn that Jefferson Airplane is coming.
Oh, wait, Tim.
My music.
Start over again. You got to start the music, yeah.
The next scene, they learn, a few years later, Jefferson Airplane is
coming
to town for a big concert. Yeah?
I have a question. You said the next scene. Is this a new movie or is this a continuation of the film?
It's a new movie. Continuation of the film. Part 2.
The first scene.
Yes.
Okay.
Jefferson Airplane's coming to town. The pigs, they don't want this. It's illegal for them to play.
You said it's a few years later, but what year is it? Because they become Jefferson Starship in 1974.
Yeah, it's an alternate reality, George.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Okay. Settle down.
All right.
It's a reunion tour. Jefferson Airplane. The pigs don't want them.
I don't think it happened.
Because they're not allowed on the lawn.
Why?
So the pigs, it's just a law, George. The pigs and the freaks, they get in each other's faces. And they decide then and there, they're going to have a hot dog eating competition to settle this for no reason. Out of nowhere.
Shit. Oh, my God.
So,
Tim,
what?
Would it be considered cannibalism for pigs to eat hot dogs? Because hot dogs are mainly made of pork.
Yeah, well, you're just taking a shot at the police. So, the freaks, led by Neil again, he's getting older.
Yep.
He's like, we don't know how to do this. We need Organimus.
Oh, no.
He needs to teach us. So they go back over there again. He's hanging out with his young girls.
Are they still young or are they old withered hags by now?
He's got some more young ones. He gets rid of them as they get older.
Nice.
He's a total cult leader.
Just like the real Tony Randall.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. Sad but
I
true.
like Tony. Yeah, he was busy. He was playing Uno with the harem of the girls, naked.
Naked Uno. Where's he hide his cards then?
Yeah, and that big head of hair he's got. Oh, and the fake beard. He liked Adam's fake beard. He's like, I'm going to get one of them there. Fake beards. So, Organimus. They beg him to teach them how to eat hot dogs and beat the pigs. And Organimus is like, I support what you're into, dude. It's all groovy, but I'm more of a Beijingo guy, the foo-foo. I like to say I'm into the little kitty. I'm into the Mary Ellen taco. You know what I mean? I'm okay with what you're up to, dude, but the animal on the Oregon flag, that's what I'm into. You know what I'm talking about? My favorite song is Doodah. When you come digging, when I go digging, I like to dig in the lady garden. You dig what I'm talking about? When I plow, I like to plow the cowgirl prairie. Know what I'm saying?
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for what this is upsetting.
And Neil says, no, I'm talking about eating hot dogs and buns at a competition. I'm not You know what I mean? Hot dogs made of meat trimmings and animal fat, meat from lower grade muscle of the belly, a summer grill item filled with emulsified grounds that turn to batter. It's wrapped in a viscous casing made of processed cellulite. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the stick shift. I'm not talking about my baloney pony. I'm not talking about the old crankshaft or the flagpole. I wasn't talking about the beef jerker. Wasn't talking about my tussle tube. No, not the Count Chocula. No, I'm not talking about the chubby stick. No, I wasn't mentioning my Wu-Tang Wang or even my Red Hot Chili Pecker. No, I wasn't talking about these things.
That's weird they had a Wu-Tang Clan reference already. It's definitely preceding that band.
Organimus says, oh, you mean a hot dog? Well, those are disgusting. He says, no, those are disgusting. I can't be involved with this. I'm a vegetarian. So
I should mention, actually, everybody, it was a running joke with Organimus that he kept telling people to improve their diet.
Yep. So Neil's like,
so this is in keeping. Yeah.
Neil looks around, but he has an idea. He says, okay, you can't help us, but you'll at least come cheer us on, right? And he says, yeah, sure. So they have the day of the big contest. There's lots of slow motion film of the pigs eating hot dogs and the freaks eating hot dogs.
What a gruesome thing to see in slow motion.
And while the pigs are eating, Neil says, didn't you ever notice how old Organimus is? And he lives with those young, barely legal ladies. And if that isn't bad enough, look at what they eat. They eat lentils and hummus. And he shows them pictures of lentil and hummus. And he's like, looks like,
so they know what that is.
Looks like vomit already, right? And the pigs are like gagging and they're going to puke. And Neil continues. He says, and at Organimus, it's like he's 65 years old today. And he lives with those barely legal girls. And he walks around that robe with nothing under it, and the pigs start to gag. And he says, in fact, one of those ladies he adopted when she was a child. Now she's 18, and he's thinking of marrying her. And so they're like, oh, that's disgusting. That's like,
But he was pretty good in Annie Hall, though, wasn't he?
He was pretty good in Annie Hall. Oh, man. So they all puke. He makes them puke like that. So it seems like they're going to lose. So the pigs, they puke. It's so disgusting. And it seems like they're going to lose. But then the freaks, they all puke up their hot dogs because... Steamroller, he thought it'd be fun to like dose other hot dogs because that's what he does. So steam. Is that his name? Steam pipe. Thus, it's a tie. The pigs and the freaks, they're friends again. They agreed to let Jefferson Airplane play in town, but not in the park. And they play that new song, Starship, and everybody vomits again. So they're friends. They're friends until part three. Part 3, where Flounder challenges the pigs to an air guitar contest. So.
Oh man, is that because
you want me to tell that story too? No, we'll end it here.
No, I just want to know. I think it would have been a good ending if like the pigs and the freaks tied, but Grace Slick came in and she ate like 87 hot dogs and she won.
Yeah, that would happen.
Yep, but that was good, right?
That was good. But she also dosed everybody. She dosed everybody, then left town.
And she goes, "Go ask Alice," and she throws in a smoke bomb and disappears.
Yes.
Yep.
Records her solo album, which I like. It's called Wrecking Ball.
Well,
I think it's called Wrecking Ball.
Stop talking about Jefferson Airplane.
Well, what's next week, George? We talked so long.
That certainly was an episode. Well, did we have any mail this week, Tim?
Let me look. You always
that was
ask.
Certainly an episode.
We're shutting down the mail bag because we have so much to say. I'm going to
is that why?
Refresh it. Nothing new here.
Oregon.
What are they supposed to write?
I'm disappointed in our movie for you, Oregon.
It was a football
this was a bad movie.
The hippies and the police.
It was real bad. It was not a good movie. But I'm going to raise you one. There was a state that we skipped because I just couldn't find a fucking movie in it. Delaware.
Oh.
Not a lot of stuff is filmed in Delaware. Things have been set in Delaware, but nobody films there. I went to the Delaware film, like their actual state website today to see if it had any information about it.
Yeah.
And they was trying to extol the virtues of filming in Delaware because Dead Poet Society is filmed there. That's the one movie.
Ooh.
And they're like, there's all these in the FAQ. There's all things like, do you offer tax breaks? They're like, no, we do not offer tax breaks. It's hilarious. They're like, no wonder nobody films there. You don't make it attractive. But I found one movie, Tim.
Okay.
Had to go on Reddit, Delaware Reddit, and ask people what movies were there.
You did work.
I did some fucking work. I probably spent more time finding a movie from Delaware than I did watching the movie from Oregon. And the movie is Mayor Cupcake.
Mayor Cupcake. Wow.
Mayor Cupcake, starring Howard the Duck's own Leah Thompson.
Okay,
It's on. It's
Tubi.
It's on Tubi.
Oh, okay.
Mayor Cupcake.
Okay, Mayor Cupcake. Okay. Do you know anything about it? I'm not going to look it up. I like to let people wonder what's going to happen.
I know this. Unfortunately, it's listed as a family-friendly film, so it's going to be bad. It's got Leah Thompson in it. It's got a couple other people. I think, honestly, I may be on an episode of How Did This Get Made? I think they actually did this movie years ago because the idea, like, it's a woman who cooks cupcakes and accidentally becomes mayor.
Ooh. And she meets Mayor.
It's going to be good.
I predict she's going to meet Mayor
McCheese.
McCheese, yeah. Right?
Yep,
we're done. We're done.
And they're going to get married. Yep, we're done.
That's
right.
my revenge sequel. Mayor McCheese knocks her off. He's like, not going to be another food mayor around these parts.
I'm the only one. Do you know that Mayor McCheese doesn't exist anymore because they were sued successfully by Sid and Marty Krofft due to the similarities he had to H.R. Puffin stuff?
He does look like H.R. Puffin stuff. I did not know that.
Yeah, the entirety of McDonaldland stuff is H.R. Puffin stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And they sued them.
Oof. Well, that one.
And that's why they all got revamped.
Oh,
yeah. Well, him
revamped.
especially.
Is that why there's no Fry Guys? They don't look like any Sid and Marty Krofft.
I think the Fry Guys still exist.
But
Mayor McCheese and Officer McQuarter Pounder, whatever the fuck he was, they're gone.
Oof.
Yep.
Oof.
Yep.
You blew my mind. We got to end this now.
All right.
Send us emails.
Let's end this episode.
Seddy Bimco with the E at gmail.com. You can follow us on all the socials. Check out the blog to see what picture I might have drawn about my sequel. Sometimes I do that.
Indeed.
And
sometimes he does.
Come back next week. Tell a friend. Tell your mother to listen so she can complain. That's it.
And we'll be crossing the Delaware with Mayor Cupcake next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Pew pew.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This has been a Pity Party Line production.
Party line. It's a party line.
Swayze is the brother. Okay, Tim.
It doesn't matter.
This is why I was trying to say. It does matter. Swayze is the high school buddy of all these guys who went to the war and came back as a right winger.
Yes.
His sister is Janice, who runs off to Canada at the end.
Okay.
Swayze is the partner of Dennehy. Dennehy is got no family. He eats cold beans out of a can, standing over his sink every night in his apartment above the bowling alley.
Okay.